Thank you for joining us here for our annual presidential debate. This is the night we've all been waiting for. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to our candidates, and then I'll ask them questions that we've selected from your constituents. First, we have our incumbent president, Sarah Hunter, who's served the past 2 consecutive terms. Next to her, we have 4-time challenger, Melanie Wojcik. We have a late entry to the race, Elizabeth Sorensen. Glad to have you here, Elizabeth. Last but not least, we have Teddy O'Byrne, our oldest and most male candidate. Now it is time to start the debate for Nixon Elementary School PTA president. Our first question is for Sarah Hunter. Sarah, during your presidency, fundraising has reached an all-time high, while field trips have reached an all-time low. How do you justify using the Cakewalk Fund for your personal campaign finance?
Money talks and cakes walk. And while we're on the subject of baked goods, I'd like to point out that my opponent, Mr. O'Byrne, brought a dozen store-bought cookies to the cakewalk, while I brought my domestic, homemade, prize-winning brownies. I mean, do we really want a candidate whose gender excludes him from even participating in the event?
This shouldn't be an issue. And while we're on the topic of food in the classroom, let's talk about the real issue, gum control. What are my opponent's plans to keep gum out of the classrooms?
I'm with you, Teddy. 0 tolerance for gum at school. But I do think it's worth pointing out that one candidate's campaign has been fully funded by a special interest group with very different motives.
It's true that my husband does work for Juicy Fruit, but how does that compare to Ms. Wojcik's email scandal?
This may not be very political, but I am so tired of hearing about the doggone emails.
Let's get back on track. Immigration is a hot topic right now. How would you respond to families seeking inter-district transfers?
I don't think there's a problem with diversity in our classrooms. Some of our policies could be retooled, and that's nothing to be afraid of. Because in the end, we're all just transfer students.
I'm going to take all of the canned goods from the Thanksgiving drive and build the biggest wall possible between ourselves and District 73. I'd also like to remind all the good voters out there that last year I brought in a record-breaking number of cans to the food drive because those who can.
Excuse me? But are these going to be the only 2 that are talking this evening? I would like to remind the voters that I am a veteran substitute teacher. I've been on the front lines with the classrooms. I've been in the trenches. I've played the same movie over and over and over again. 3 times I've been shot in the head by paper airplanes. 3. No other candidate has that experience.
Speaking of experience, you also have experience with scandals. Or do I have to bring up Lost Springs Facebook scandal? I am running for Nixon Elementary PTA president because the other minivan soccer moms said I'd be the best.
Let's bring it back to the subject at hand. A lot of our voters are concerned with climate change. There is scientific evidence that our classrooms are heating up and our air conditioners are either broken or non-existent. What are the candidates' thoughts on this issue?
Well, you can't ignore the facts. In Mrs. Thompson's room, room 32, her room's been increasing by 5 degrees every day after recess. The milk in the cafeteria is spoiling.
You want to talk about scientific fact? Teddy O'Byrne will never be a mother.
I know it's a short-term fix, but we can just give all the students popsicles.
Why are we even listening to her? Do I have to remind the voters of Benghazi? You and the janitor, Benjamin Ghazi?
Recess, there needs to be a minimum.
Over on WSTL Channel 3, they say that Teddy O'Byrne is the winner. That's what they want you to think. We here at Fox News know the real winner, Sarah Hunter. Because those who can. Go get 'em, Sarah!